If you are trying to choose between Exness and Pepperstone for which trading platform you would like to use, I'm going to save you a lot of time in this video by comparing these. None of the hype stuff that you're going to see where people are talking about profits and trading strategies and all of these different things. I'm just going to break down what these platforms are, the core fundamentals, how you fund them, the different ways that you can trade, and essentially how the trading interface is on both of these tools, regulations, which is a big difference between Exness and Pepperstone, and essentially everything else that you need to know. Now, if you do want to sign up for either of these platforms, I will leave links down in the description just to take you through to the correct account area that you will want to sign up to as a beginner. Essentially, with both of these platforms, there's a few different types of accounts, as you can see in here, and they're aimed at different types of traders. For 99% of people starting out, you will want a standard account on both of these platforms, so that link will just take you over to that area and make sure that you don't accidentally sign up for the wrong account. So, with that out of the way, the core difference between both of these platforms comes down to how regulated they are and how regulated they feel. So both of these platforms are regulated in most countries. It's just that Pepperstone has a higher level of regulation. They're a little bit safer when it comes to things like leverage. They're a lot safer when it comes to things like leverage. The way that you can onboard and offboard money, there's a big difference there as well. Another big difference is when we speak about Exness in this video, everything is going to be very consistent across all of the different countries. So for example, if we're speaking about Exness and we go into open an account, and I say in here, a standard account at the time of recording this is 0.2 pips minimum spread. That's going to be true for Exness across all of the different countries. Whereas with Pepperstone, because this is a lot more regulated and it has a lot of different regulatory bodies, like a UK regulatory body, Germany has a different one. Basically, every country has a different regulatory body. So the core fundamentals are the same. If I say that Pepperstone has cheaper fees than Exness, which it does, that is going to hold true for pretty much every country. But something that you can't take for exact, as I say, is the exact amount. Because, for example, if we come down here, as you can see, if we look at CFD trading standard right here, no commission except share CFDs, starting at just 0.1% per side on UK share CFDs. So if you're in Germany, I can't guarantee that the number is going to be the exact same, but I can say with pretty high confidence that the Pepperstone fees are going to be lower than the Exness fees. So that is the first thing to bring in there. One other thing that I will add in this area when we're talking about how regulated both of these platforms are and how regulated they feel, a big one is leverage, right? And this is just where Exness get kind of wild, and it shows just how much more free you are with a platform like Exness. Is if we come in here and we go to adjust leverage, you can essentially, and I say essentially because this is on paper, it's not actually unlimited, and I'll show you why when we get into the trading area, but you can put unlimited leverage on your account. Either way, even though this isn't in reality unlimited leverage, the leverage is a lot higher than what you are going to get over here on Pepperstone, because with Pepperstone, with it being so regulated, and once again, this is going to change country to country depending on the regulatory body. But if we go in here, you can see that this account right here in the UK, this is just an American flag because it's in USD. But I have a UK account right here, and the leverage is set to 1 to 30, and I can't turn that up. Whereas with Exness, even though this isn't unlimited, you can still go very high. I think like Bitcoin is capped at like 400x leverage. So you can go a lot higher on Exness, and it can get really, really wild out here with high leverage. So just keep in mind, if you don't have much experience with leverage, that might be a bad thing for Exness. You might get tempted into leverage that you don't know what you're dealing with, and you might lose a lot of money in that way. I mean, on the other hand, if you're looking for a lot of leverage, then Exness is the clear choice there, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is going to be how you onboard and offboard funds. With Exness being slightly more unregulated, I don't like saying that word because it is regulated. It's just less regulated than something like Pepperstone. Pepperstone is very, very safe. They are very tight and very strict about how they do things. Whereas Exness, is regulated, but they're a lot more free, they're a lot more laid back, and it's not as strict. So if we come in here to like deposits and withdrawals, all of these are of course unavailable because this is just a demo account. I can't complete the profile because I already have an Exness account. But you can see in here that we have like crypto that we can onboard and offboard funds with. This isn't true for Pepperstone. If we go to funds right here, once again, I can't say this is completely true for every country, but I would make a very, very good guess that in no country are you going to have as many onboarding different types and offboarding different types to get money onto and off the platform. With Exness, cryptocurrency is kind of synonymous with a less regulated platform, and platforms that want to stay a lot safer, like Pepperstone, they just won't let you have access to crypto. So it's things like credit card, bank transfers, things like this, which you can also get access to on Exness, but there's just more options here. So deposit, and you can also withdraw with cryptocurrency and things like this. I don't know why it's not loading, but that is how you can do it right there. In terms of the deposits as well, they are essentially the same on both accounts. Once again, I don't know why this is being slow, why this is lagging. But with the deposits, I'll essentially just tell you, but with every single one of the deposit options on Exness, the lowest amount that you can get on is $10. There we go. The lowest amount that you can get on is $10. And then the highest amount, especially with cryptocurrency, goes very, very high, like $200,000 right there. You can onboard at one time. So Exness is going to have a higher amount that you can onboard as well. So that is Exness. With Pepperstone, if you Google the minimum requirements to set up an account, Pepperstone will say there isn't, like you don't have to have a certain amount in your account, which is true, but that's technically not true at the same time, because if you actually try to onboard funds, you're going to hit the same thing here with Exness, where you have to put on a minimum of $10. I just thought I should throw that out there. If you're trading with under $10, then maybe you should find a different platform. I don't know which platforms let you trade for under $10, but that is potentially a limit right there. Now, probably the biggest part of either platform is the account types, the fees, the spreads, and things like this. And both of these are very, very different. So Exness has a lot of different account types that you can get access to. If we go in here to open an account, you can see that we have standard accounts right here. And standard accounts are essentially what less advanced traders, what beginner traders are going to be trading on. The reason for this is because the fee that Exness takes, the way that Exness are going to make their money off traders, doesn't come from commission. It actually comes from spread. So essentially what this means is when you're trading, let's say that you are trading Bitcoin, if you have a standard account, the price of Bitcoin is going to be marginally higher by like 1 or 2p. It depends on the currency, but it's going to be a very, very, very small amount. And that's going to be how Exness are going to make their money. They make it teeny little bit more expensive than it actually is. And that's how they make their money on these standard accounts. This is always going to be cheaper until you get to around 20 to 30 lots per month in volume. It's around probably $2 to $3 million in volume per month. And then it becomes quite a lot cheaper to go to one of these professional accounts, where as you can see, there's no spread. The price is the actual price. And instead, the way that Exness make their money is they charge you $3.50 per side. So $3.50 when you enter a trade, $3.50 when you exit a trade. If you imagine, let's say you're going in with $100 positions, you're not going to get charged much on the spread. They might take a couple of cents, right? But if you're going in with $100,000 position or $1 million position, the spread on that is going to be huge. So if you can just cap that to $3.50, you're going to save a lot of money there if you're trading large volume. Otherwise, if you're trading small volume, $3.50 is just ridiculous. Like imagine you were getting charged $3.50 in and $3.50 out when you're trading with $10. That is just ridiculous. So that's why both of those account types exist. If we go over here to Pepperstone, there's a lot less account types that we have. We have with the standard right here, you can see we have CFD trading, and we also have CFD trading Razor as well. So the difference between these is it's very similar in terms of how the accounts are laid out. So if we go down here, the Razor is going to be on commission, and there is no spread on these. So as you can see, spreads are raw from 0.0. So the price is the actual price. And then they just charge a commission on the Razor account, which is the more advanced account. This is better for high volume or also if you're scalping as well. So that is there. Also, I will add that if we take a look at, if we compare the account types to each other, so we compare Razor to over here on Exness, these professional account types, we can see right here that $3.50 is this main account right here, $3.50. Whereas if we go over to Pepperstone, we can see that this is $2.96 per standard lot. So Pepperstone is cheaper here. And it's also going to be cheaper on these beginner accounts. As you can see, 0.1% in the UK, specifically in the UK, but other countries are going to be around this. Whereas with Exness, we have pretty much double here, 0.2 minimum spread. So yeah, as you can see, Exness is going to be, so as I was saying, Pepperstone is going to be cheaper for most things right there. Perfect. We've already talked about leverage. I'm just going through my notes that I have on here. Next thing we have is platforms and tools. This is where I think Exness is a lot better. In my opinion, and maybe it's just because I've used TradingView quite a lot. With Pepperstone, I really don't like the trading layout that they have on here. It does have options to more, and I'll show you these. But if we just go for the regular Pepperstone platform, we open this up in a new tab. While that's loading, I'll just show you Exness right here. So this is going to be Exness. Essentially, you can come in here, make this a little bit bigger if you want to move these in and out, just like this. But you can essentially chart on here. This is from TradingView. So if you've used TradingView before, you know how to go ahead and add all of your indicators, draw on the chart, move the time zone and things like this. Whereas with Pepperstone, this is a little bit different. I just think it's less intuitive. Like I can never get used to trading platforms like this, where you can't like, if you want to move in with something like Exness right here, you can like move around and you can use like the mouse pad to zoom. You can do it right here. You can drag and just move the time zone. Whereas with something like Pepperstone, you can't drag this. Like, look, the time zone won't drag. You need to like zoom in this area. It's just little things like this make it a lot less effective. But with that being said, this is obviously not 100% fact. This is just my opinion. Another thing that I find quite a lot easier on Exness as well is the way that you can actually find the different commodities that you're looking to trade. So over here, we have a nice big instrument box. We can go in and we can search, for example, for Ethereum. Click onto Ethereum right here, and this is going to open up in a new tab. Whereas with Pepperstone, you can see that we have all of the kind of things that are in our watch list right here. But if we want to find something, rather than it being like a search box specifically, we can come in and let's say we want to go AUD. You can see that they are going to pop up right here. It's just not as good. We can click in, of course, we can trade them in the exact same way. There's no difference in how we actually trade. We can buy and sell on both of these platforms. This is complete personal preference, but I just prefer Exness in terms of the trading layout. So that is the platforms and tools right there. We've, of course, been over regulation and trust. So those are the main differences between Exness and Pepperstone. If you want more freedom, if you want more leverage, and in my opinion, a better trading platform, then Exness is going to be the best option. On the other hand, if you want a safer feeling platform, something that is going to be backed by a lot more regulatory authorities, and feels kind of safer. You're limited, but you don't have the temptation to go with crazy leverage and things like this. Then Pepperstone is going to be the best option. In my opinion, I would say Exness is more of a beginner platform, and I would say Pepperstone is more of a serious platform when you're trading large amounts. I mean, the fees are less, your funds are going to be safer, and overall, it's just a more secure and it's a safer platform to be on. So that is basically those two tools compared. As I said, both of the links to these are in the description if you do want to sign up. Hopefully you found this valuable, and until next time, take it easy.